Manila's Ninoy Aquino International Airport isn't just an inconvenience. It has become a national liability. For years, NAIA appeared on global rankings as one of the world's worst major airports, a symbol of congestion, dysfunction, and decades of slow-moving reform. The numbers reveal the true cost. In 2024, the Philippines welcomed just 5.4 million visitors. Thailand, by comparison, brought in more than 35 million. This gap doesn't come down to beaches or weather. It comes down to infrastructure. NAIA has become the bottleneck constraining the entire national economy. This is no longer an airport problem. It is a development crisis shaping the country's global competitiveness. Please take a moment to subscribe and like the video. It really helps the channel. Despite its reputation, NAIA remains one of Asia's busiest hubs. In 2024, it handled more than 50 million passengers, even though it was designed to manage only 35 million. Almost every day, it operates beyond its intended limits. At the heart of the problem is its runway configuration. The airport technically has two runways, but they intersect in an X shape. With approach paths crossing each other, the system functions like a single runway. One is long enough for wide-body jets. The other is restricted to smaller aircraft. It leaves no room for simultaneous operations, no ability to absorb disruptions, and no resilience when delays start piling up. The result is a daily chain reaction of holding patterns, late arrivals, and frustrated passengers. The airport's fragility became impossible to ignore after a series of public failures. On January 1st, 2023, a power system collapse shut down Philippine airspace. Not just the airport, the entire airspace. 65,000 passengers were stranded in a single day. Flights were diverted as far as Japan and Singapore. What shocked experts most was not the failure itself, but the fact that there was no functioning backup system. Aviation authorities later confirmed that the setup was never fully redundant. It was a single point of failure in charge of an entire nation's skies. In 2018, a Boeing 737 skidded off the runway during landing. The incident forced the closure of the main runway for 2 days, disrupting more than 200 flights and exposing how easily the airport could be paralyzed. In 2024, Terminal 3's air conditioning system failed, leaving passengers waiting in oppressive heat. Around the same time, viral videos showed rats and even bed bugs in terminal areas, eventually triggering a congressional investigation. Each incident chipped away at public trust, revealing an airport running on infrastructure that could no longer support its own traffic. NAIA's problems began decades ago. The airport started life in the 1940s as a military airfield called Nichols Field. In 1961, its first passenger terminal opened, followed by Terminal 1 in 1982, designed for a capacity of just 6 million. Through the 1990s and early 2000s, expansions continued, but without a unified master plan. Terminal 2 opened for Philippine Airlines in 1998. Terminal 3 was planned shortly after, but years of delays meant it only became fully operational in 2014. Terminal 4, an old pre-jet era domestic terminal, was left to age without modernization. The result was 4 terminals built in different eras, by different organizations under different visions. None were designed to work together. Manila grew, the aviation industry exploded, but NAIA expanded like a patchwork, never as a unified system. The fragmentation shows up most clearly in the terminal layout. There is no internal train, shuttle, or walkway connecting any terminal. Passengers who need to transfer must exit the airport entirely, navigate Manila traffic, and re-enter a different building. Each terminal functions like its own miniature airport with its own check-in, security, baggage, and operations. This slows airline coordination, complicates transfers, and frustrates passengers. Beyond the terminals, NAIA faces an immovable physical constraint: severe landlock. The airport occupies only 4 to 6 square kilometers. By contrast, Bangkok's Suvarnabhumi sits on 32 square kilometers. Singapore's Changi spans 13. Pudong in Shanghai covers more than 40. Manila simply has no space to expand. Dense residential neighborhoods press against its perimeter. Highways wrap around the runways. Commercial development surrounds its perimeter. Additional runways are impossible. Large apron expansion is impossible. The airport is boxed in by the city it helped create. Then comes the runway geometry. The intersecting design means that nearly 280,000 flights share what effectively becomes a single operational strip. A single disruption, an aircraft issue, maintenance work, or ground delay ripples across the entire schedule. It is an airport built for a smaller nation trapped inside a metropolis that long outgrew it. These design flaws are paired with outdated systems. The air traffic control collapse in 2023 was traced to an electrical configuration flaw and a backup power system that was never properly linked. The equipment installed in 2018 was already outdated, built on technology from nearly a decade earlier. Electrical outages, baggage breakdowns, malfunctioning check-in counters, and air conditioning failures occur so often they have become routine. NAIA is not just old, it is structurally fragile. The consequences extend far beyond the terminal walls. Tourism is one of the Philippines' most important industries. Yet the country has never surpassed 8 million annual visitors even in its best pre-pandemic year. Thailand surpasses 35 million every year. Congested terminals limit flight slots and discourage new routes. Foreign airlines see Manila as an operational risk rather than an opportunity. Business travelers encounter unpredictability. Even when demand grows, airlines cannot add capacity because the runway cannot handle more flights. Infrastructure, not interest, caps the nation's tourism and business potential. Outside the airport, the impact spills onto Manila's roads. Vehicle queues from terminal drop-off points often extend onto expressways. The NAIA Expressway, built to ease these bottlenecks, became congested almost immediately after opening because airport traffic exceeded forecasts. Every breakdown, every peak hour rush, and every terminal delay forces more cars onto roads already pushed to the edge. For millions of overseas Filipino workers, NAIA is their first and last experience of home. Long arrival queues, slow immigration lines, and overcrowded halls turn emotional reunions into exhausting marathons. Even with special lanes and dedicated OFW services, the root problems remain structural, not procedural. NAIA's limitations shape the experience of an entire diaspora. In 2024, the government awarded a concession to rehabilitate NAIA. The goal is to improve service and squeeze out a bit more capacity. But even the winning consortium acknowledged that the airport's fundamental problems, space, runway configuration, and land constraints cannot be solved on the existing site. Manila finally reached the unavoidable conclusion: NAIA cannot be fixed, it has to be replaced. That replacement is already rising in Bulacan, 30 kilometers north of Manila. The new Manila International Airport, also known as NMIA, is a $15 billion megaproject led by San Miguel Corporation. Covering 2,500 hectares, it is being built on reclaimed land engineered to withstand flooding and storm surges. The site offers room for multiple runways, large terminals, and future expansion. Everything NAIA was never able to provide. Unlike Manila's cramped aviation footprint, Bulacan opens the door to long-term growth with space to scale like other global hubs. New expressways are now under development to link the airport directly to NLEX and the wider North Luzon road network, significantly reducing travel times once completed. These include San Miguel Corporation's planned Northern and Southern Access Link expressways. A future rail connection is also being studied to integrate the airport into Metro Manila's rail system, potentially through a future extension of MRT Line 7, though no alignment or construction timeline has been finalized. Public statements still target 2027 to 2028 for partial or full opening of the new Manila International Airport, positioning it to become Luzon's primary international gateway and relieving pressure on NAIA while rebalancing traffic across the region. Other options were studied over the years. Clark International Airport, about 90 kilometers north, has grown steadily, but is too distant to function as Manila's main hub. Sangley Point in Cavite saw proposals, but moved forward slowly. Bulacan became the preferred solution because it offered the best balance of location, size, and expandability. NAIA is a lesson in the cost of short-term planning and the dangers of building critical infrastructure inside an expanding city. The Bulacan Airport represents a new chapter, one shaped by long-term thinking and national ambition. For decades, a single poorly planned airport held back an entire country. Now, with a $15 billion bet on the future, the Philippines is finally rewriting its aviation story.